It's time to watch the Olympics. This is something that many of you wait every 4 years to sit down in your living room and to really take in the greatness of the people who are competing in the Olympics. Every year or every Olympics, there's many lessons that we can learn. And if we're watching with your children or your teens, many lessons that you can teach them or talk about as you're watching the Olympics. This year in particular, all eyes were on Simone Biles. And wow, she is a fantastic, amazing athlete. And one thing we have to remember is that she's also an adolescent under a lot of pressure. And yes, she is an adolescent. She's 24, right? And adolescence runs until about 25. And here's the thing about Simone. She has lived a life when she joined gymnastics and got competitive, a life of competition. And in competition, there is a pressure and a push to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And as we saw, unfortunately, in the Olympics so far, that pressure has caused so much mental strife for her that she ended up withdrawing from the team competition. And hopefully she'll still be competing in some of the individual events. We are still figuring that out. I guess she's figuring that out. She did say, release a statement that it is about mental health and her mental wellness right now, that she doesn't feel like she's in a space to compete and to do well for the team, so she is withdrawing. But what it came down to, and this is in her own words, not mine, that it was about perfection, feeling that necessity to be perfect, not wanting to let others down, knowing that the expectations were so high for her. Now, Simone Biles is in an extreme situation, of course. Like, she's at the Olympics, the whole world is watching her. There's so many girls who are looking up to her and just think she is so amazing, and she absolutely is. But this idea of perfection got in her way so far. She felt that she had to be perfect. Not that she had to be great, but that she had to be perfect. So when she took that first step, that she didn't land it correctly, that made her break the sense of perfection and felt that she was letting everyone around her down, when in actuality, really, she was just letting herself down. But we have something we can learn here for our own families and for our own children. We need to be mindful of this idea of perfection. There are a lot of young girls who feel like they need to be perfect. And we, very well-intentioned parents, kind of send this message sometimes. Like, when is all the praise coming at them? Especially if you have a high achiever, is the time where she really gets that connection and that attention when she achieves. If she's at a gymnastics meet and does well, or if she gets an A on a report card, or if she gets an A on a test, or if she draws the perfect picture. What messages are we sending to our kids? Perfectionism really is rampant in our young girls, and this leads to this idea of, I'm not enough. I'm not enough unless I'm perfect. But what even is that goalpost of perfection? There is no perfect goalpost. We as moms tend to experience this as well. So while you're watching the Olympics and you're talking about these athletes, make sure you're not just talking about, wow, look, they're achieving. Talk about the hard work that they're putting in. And with Simone Biles, even like when she makes that mistake, say, oh, wow, she worked so hard and that was an amazing routine. You don't have to just focus on that mistake that she made. So your messaging while you're watching the Olympics with your kids, they're soaking it in. So think about what that messaging is that you want to send to your kids. Parents, you got this.